Robyn Brown flips in courtroom showdown. Kody left speechless. Sister wives scandal exposed. The tension inside the courthouse was thick enough to cut with a knife. Cameras weren't allowed inside, but eyewitnesses say the atmosphere could rival the most dramatic moments ever seen on Sister Wives. Robyn Brown, usually known for her composed demeanor, shocked everyone when she stood up, voice trembling with anger, and confronted a statement that had just been read into the record. It all began when court proceedings turned toward the family's finances, a subject that has long been a sore spot for the Browns. The dispute was not part of the show's storyline, but rather a legal matter that had been simmering behind closed doors. Sources close to the family say that the case revolved around property rights, past agreements, and, most controversially, money allegedly diverted without proper consent. Robyn's reaction came after an attorney read a portion of testimony implying that she had been the primary driver behind certain financial decisions that allegedly left other family members at a disadvantage. Witnesses say Robyn's face turned red, her hands clenched into fists, and she leaned forward as though ready to respond before being recognized by the judge. When she was finally given the floor, what came next left everyone in stunned silence. Her voice cracked at first, but quickly gained strength as she declared, "I have been quiet for far too long. If people want the truth, then they're going to hear it today. I've been accused, judged, and blamed for things that were decided by more than one person in this family. I will not take the fall for choices we all made together." Kody Brown, seated just a few feet away, reportedly looked frozen. Those who know him well say it's rare for Kody to be speechless, but in that moment, he simply stared at Robyn, as though processing each word. The courtroom fell into an almost cinematic stillness, the only sound the faint hum of the overhead lights. Robyn went on to accuse others of rewriting history, to make her the scapegoat for years of complicated financial arrangements. She claimed she had documents and communications proving that every decision was discussed openly and that Kody himself had often been the one to push through deals without seeking unanimous agreement from the rest of the family. Several times, the judge had to remind Robyn to keep her comments directed toward the legal matter at hand, but her frustration was clear. Eyewitnesses say at one point she locked eyes with Kody and said, "You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know where the money went. And you know it wasn't my idea alone." The outburst drew audible gasps from people seated in the gallery. One court observer described the moment as something straight out of a TV drama, except no one was acting. Another said, "I've been in courtrooms for years, and I've never seen someone just peel back the curtain like that in real time." Kody's reaction remained controlled but visibly tense. While he didn't speak during Robyn's statement, his body language was telling. He sat back in his chair, jaw tight, hands folded, occasionally glancing toward his own legal team as though weighing whether to respond or simply let the moment pass. Behind the scenes, tensions between Kody and some of his former wives have been escalating for months, if not years. Many fans have speculated about the true nature of Kody and Robyn's financial arrangements, especially after the family's move to Flagstaff and the lingering question of what would happen to their Coyote Pass property. This courtroom episode seemed to pull back the curtain on some of those unanswered questions and possibly reveal more than either party intended. According to insiders, the dispute centers on a complicated web of property ownership titles, shared bank accounts, and decisions about the family's collective earnings from their TLC series. While the Browns publicly presented a united front for years, multiple sources say that arguments about money and land have been a recurring point of friction. Robyn's courtroom comments hinted at deeper issues. She suggested that certain promises had been made to her about security and stability that later turned out to be unreliable. She reportedly told the court, "I was told this land was for all of us. I was told we were building something together. Now I'm sitting here fighting to prove that I didn't take what wasn't mine." As Robyn spoke, Christine and Janelle, both no longer in a spiritual marriage with Kody, were not present in the courtroom but were reportedly following developments closely. People close to them have hinted that they feel vindicated by Robyn's loss of composure, seeing it as confirmation that cracks in the family's foundation run far deeper than anyone admitted publicly. At one point, Kody's attorney asked for a brief recess, presumably to regroup after Robyn's fiery remarks. When court reconvened, Kody still didn't directly address her accusations. Instead, he spoke in broader terms about misunderstandings and miscommunications that had built up over the years. While his tone was calmer, it did little to defuse the tension. Observers noted that while Kody was careful not to contradict Robyn outright, his version of events seemed to place responsibility back onto group decisions, subtly reinforcing the idea that no single person was to blame. Still, the undercurrent of disagreement between the two was undeniable. The media frenzy outside the courthouse was immediate. Reporters swarmed anyone willing to talk, and social media lit up with speculation, hashtags, and heated debates. Fans of Sister Wives dissected every word, every facial expression, and every gesture from both Kody and Robyn. Some defended Robyn, saying she had every right to defend herself against unfair blame. Others accused her of deflecting and using emotional outbursts to sway the narrative. For those who have followed the Browns since their early TLC days, this moment felt like a culmination of years of subtle and not-so-subtle tension. From the moment Robyn entered the family, her relationship with Kody was seen as different from his relationships with his other wives. While Kody always insisted he loved all of them equally, many viewers perceived Robyn as his favorite, a perception that only deepened when the family's living arrangements and financial priorities seemed to shift in her favor. In court, those long-running fan theories seemed to echo in the background. Robyn's insistence that she was not the sole decision-maker hinted at a power dynamic that might not have been as straightforward as some believed. Meanwhile, Kody's reluctance to challenge her directly raised questions about how their partnership operates when under public and legal scrutiny. As the hearing drew to a close, the judge reminded both parties that emotions would not decide the case, only documented facts and legal agreements would. Still, it was clear that the damage had been done. Whatever the final ruling, the Browns had exposed a side of their private lives that was far messier than the polished storylines of their reality show. In the hours after the courtroom showdown, neither Kody nor Robyn gave an official statement to the press. However, sources close to the family say the two left